More than 2.5 million children in the U.S. actually have an incarcerated parent. So many that Sesame Street created a character to tackle the issue for their viewers. Well, one of those children wrote a book about coping with the circumstance. Anyé Young and her mom, LaDàna Drigo, join us now in studio. Welcome.
Good morning.
Anyé, I mean, you're so inspirational, and you know, kids go through enough growing up in childhood. But how old were you when your dad was incarcerated?
I was 9 years old, actually.
You're 9 years old. So
Yeah.
what's it been like without having your dad there and just kind of learning the ropes with you and your mom without him around?
Well, for one, I had to get used to the fact that my mom had to take up, both roles, that load, that responsibility of both a mom and a dad. And not having my dad around was kind of hard on me. And I had to find my own way. There was no one to really guide me through that, or that I could really go talk to someone about that, because there's this feeling of shame that comes with it. So it was really hard to talk about.
Knowing that your dad, that shame that you feel, that you think other people are judging you because your dad's in jail.
Yeah.
Gotcha. And LaDàna, when you're seeing your daughter grow up, and you're an honor roll student, you're a rising senior, you're looking at Ivy League schools for college, and now you're an author. So to see your daughter kind of blossoming, and it's a testament to you, obviously, as her mother. But how proud are you of your daughter?
I'm extremely proud of her. Pretty much she's developing and molding into the young lady that I know that she is. But it's, she's in the teenage phase right now where she's still kind of using other people's opinions to form her own opinion.
Yeah.
But I'm seeing more and more that she's stepping out into her own, and she's not so much caring about what other people think, other than trying to just influence the world, to be better.
Well, and you hear a lot, I mean, that's the teenage years, high school, but you hear a lot sometimes if you put it out there, then people can't judge you for it. Because,
Yeah.
I mean, they will, but you're putting it out there and saying, this is me, I'm okay with this, and if they're not okay with it, then they're not worth being in your circle.
Yeah, it took me a while to get to that point.
I think some of us are still kind of figuring that out every now and
some
then,
days
too.
are harder than others, yeah, of course.
So why did you want to write this book and really put that story out for everybody to know?
So when I wrote the book, I was actually 14 years old.
Wow.
It took me a little bit to get to that point where I was a little bit more selfless, because when you're writing a book like this, you're thinking about more than just you, because the issue, it affects more people than just you alone. You're not the only person in the world. You have to come to that realization. So I had to realize that it was bigger than just me, and that other kids needed to feel that and know that they could pursue their passion rather than feeling like they're destined for failure, which is how I felt.
Yeah, we hear that a lot, whether it's the neighborhood you're brought up in, the family, because your dad and your grandfather, correct, were
Yeah.
both incarcerated, and people just look at you probably and say, oh, she's destined for that, or he's destined for that.
Yeah.
And you're not. You create your own path. So what tips do you have for kids that feel stuck, and to kind of get past that and know that they can become their own person?
I do recommend doing volunteer work, because it did help me. It did really shape me as a person. But I would also say get involved, not just in your community, but also get involved in school and make new friends. And friends kind of did help me, but I didn't really, those aren't the people that I really, opened up about these
Right.
things, but they did make me feel more comfortable in my environment.
They let you be you.
Yeah.
Let you be you. And Mom, when you, as a single parent and seeing your daughter and trying to instill that same kind of thought process into your child, what advice do you have for parents that may be going through a similar circumstance, that are either separated or have a parent that's separated?
I think the biggest, I think the biggest advice is to pay attention to your child. For me, I noticed the change because Anyé as a child was dancing and doing all this other stuff. And then when she got to be around the 11-year-old mark, preteen, then I just started seeing her kind of not be that same person. And I'm like, well, you know, for me, your child, when they come out and they're little, that's their personality.
Right.
If you notice a change, then you need to start having conversations. I know that living in the DC metro, we're busy. We have these expenses, right? But it's as simple as sitting down and actually having dinner with your kids. It's as simple as taking them to school instead of having them catch the bus. Take them to school and pop in a Panera Bread or wherever, you know.
Let's have a
Shameless
quick
plug,
little
right?
nice
I don't work at
conversation.
Panera, but I mean, just spend some time with them in the car and talk to them. Turn off the radio.
Yeah.
I think for me that was the change in her. That's how I was able to notice it, and I see that a lot of people don't kind of pick up on the cues when their kids are changing.
Right.
So that would be my biggest recommendation.
I love that. Pay attention. And to both of you, thank you for sharing your story. Anyé's book, A Teen Guide to Living with Incarcerated Parents, it's a quick but powerful read. So thank you for sharing that and trying to help others with the same situation.
Thank you.
We'll be right
Thank you.
back.